The Eurovision Song Contest may be the most frivolous competition in the world. Start with the word Euro, which is defined so loosely that more than 50 countries can compete, including Australia. Then there's song, which in some cases is pretty loosely defined too. Still, Eurovision draws more eyeballs than the Super Bowl, and it's one of the few events where a global audience actually watches together. Because frivolity is the point. But this year, Eurovision is being held in the home of last year's winner, Israel. And here, politics dominates all.
We see Eurovision as dancing on Palestinian graves.
Amr Barghouti is a Palestinian founding member of the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions movement. The government isn't funding this or isn't providing the majority of funding. This is a lot of people who are turning up to enjoy art, cheesy music, and have a good time. And why should they be stopped from doing that?
It's a matter of whether you want to use art to whitewash apartheid, to whitewash crimes, siege, ethnic cleansing, occupation, demolition of homes. If you really want to be apolitical, which sounds really ironic, it's as political as it gets. But regardless, if you want to be apolitical, don't hold Eurovision in a state that is guilty of apartheid, occupation, and ethnic cleansing.
So that's a political statement in
itself? That's a very political statement in itself.
Bonsoir, France! To its millions of fans, Eurovision is a celebration of camp, kitsch, and cultural unity. Political protest is banned. But one act this year is breaking ranks and confronting the issue head-on. Hatari. That's Icelandic for hater, self-styled BDSM techno-punks. Their contest entry, Hate Will Prevail, is a song about the dangers of populism and oppression.
We've been warned that we are
over the line.
Over the line.
Really? What did they say?
They said, you're over the line.
Just that's it?
No, they phrased it very elegantly and they complimented our performance and they said, of course, they don't want to change how we see the world or our life opinions, but made it very clear that we had reached the limits of the EBU's tolerance.
Was that because you used the A word? You said apartheid?
Yeah, I think that was the line.
The argument from the Eurovision organisers' side and the broadcaster, the Israeli broadcaster, is that there shouldn't be a mix between art and fun and politics.
This is of course not true, because you can't untie art from its context, especially here, especially now.
The boycott message has found Israeli support too.
We're trying to raise our voice to the Israeli audience and to the international audience.
What do you think of the message, which is that Eurovision is a celebration for queerness, liberalism, all things camp and kitsch?
I think it could be nice if it was true. First of all, culture is something with political, okay? Singing, like songs are political, there's always been political. And second of all, it's not only cultural, it's also financial.
But for many of the Israeli fans who shelled out up to $350 for Eurovision tickets, the backdrop to this year's contest is a little wearying.
Everything is based on politics. Doesn't matter what we do, they always look at us in a different way.
Eurovision maintains that it's above the fray, and so far its message is holding. Madonna, who's playing the halftime show, says she won't let politics stop her from performing. And about 100,000 people will watch tomorrow's final at Tel Aviv's Eurovision Beach Festival.
Okay.
John Olasand runs the show and has been involved with the contest for 21 years.
It's important to distinguish a bit. What we mean with a non-political event is the 3 TV transmissions and everything that's in here in the bubble we create. We have to keep that free of politics.
But there's a very thin line, isn't there, between being non-political and then freedom of speech as well. Iceland called Israel an apartheid state, and they say as a result they've been explicitly warned by Eurovision and threatened with being thrown out.
No, not because of that, but because we talked to them and we asked them not to make political statements. in here and on the stage. But of course they are free to express their opinions.
Chances of this year's contest actually being disrupted are minimal, and most of the show's global audience will be more focused on the glitter than the protests. But for Hatari, just getting their message heard is already a success.
Everyone who goes on stage is making a political statement, whether they are aware of that fact or not.